How is the tour going? So the tour, this tour's called Hag, is that right?
Hag, yes. The show is called Hag. The
Yes.
tour is called The Best Time of My Life. Hag, I am halfway through the tour, although there's going to be an extension.
Great.
But it's going well. It's sort of a mad thing to do, to be on tour. I didn't realise how mad it was, just sort of turning up in a town like the Pied Piper of Hamlet and being like, come, I've got tricks, I've got fun things to do. But it is really fun.
It must be the first time you've really done a...
It's the first time I've ever done a tour.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. She's left the sweet embrace of the M25.
Yeah. And so, but you're selling out and you're selling very well.
I'm selling very well, which is lovely. And I just really like it. I was worried I wouldn't like it because it feels like a way to be mentally unwell.
Yes.
I feel like whenever I say anything harrowing, I've got to sing it. Mentally unwell.
Are you on your own or have you got support?
I'm on my own.
Yeah, it's hard.
No support.
That can be difficult. It's not as bad if you're doing well. The selling tickets.
Oh yeah, if I was literally by myself.
Yeah.
I've
done tours where I've felt like I've been by myself. Though it can be difficult when you do like a very successful show and then everyone disappears into the night and you're on your own again back at the... What standard of accommodation are you staying in on tour?
Oh, yeah. So I'm quite a frugal mouse.
Yes.
In Durham, I was trying to look for a cheap place to stay, and the cheapest place to stay was above a pub.
Yeah, I've done ones.
And it had mainly good reviews, but the most recent review said, we stayed here for 4 nights, the bed was broken and there was blood on the sheets. And then they said that the landlord's friends were all very friendly, but that they also stole their possessions.
Right.
And I thought about staying there for about 35 minutes.
Right. How much was it?
It was £40.
Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot for getting your stuff stolen and blood and stuff.
Yeah, it's so I stayed in a much nicer establishment for £45, where there was no hemoglobin in the sheets. No. Yeah.
In Lincoln, I stayed. I got my car broke down and I had to stay in Lincoln. There was nowhere to stay except a room above a pub that cost £15 a night, including breakfast. And it's not that long ago. It's about 12 years ago, 15 years ago. The door had been recently kicked in and repaired. And it was obviously just like a hostel for the insane. And there was just a lot of movement in the night. And I didn't stay for breakfast. I can't give you a review of breakfast because I just left.
You didn't stay for the free breakfast?
I didn't stay for breakfast.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine £15 for the whole experience?
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
It was almost worth waiting to find out what the breakfast would have been.
Yeah, I forced myself to eat the breakfast because I didn't want them to think I was a pansy southerner. They were like, is there anything you don't like? And I was like, no, I eat everything. And they were like, black pudding. And I was like, yeah. And then I hid it in my napkin and took it with me.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, black pudding.
I like just a tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
I don't want a whole slab of black pudding. And also there was eggshell in it. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Wow. 45 quid. I'm not expecting blood for 40 quid. I don't want blood on my sheets. And I don't want eggshell in my eggs. You call me old-fashioned, but that's the way it is. When I was staying, you did Swansea. Did you find a nice place to stay in Swansea? Swansea's where I had the toilet was in the same room as the bed.
Oh, lovely.
It was in a little alcove.
That's a very sex-positive room. I like that. I got out of Swansea as fast as possible. I stayed in Cardiff. I think just because I've never really, apart from festivals, never really gigged in Wales before, I was like, in Cardiff, I was like, I'm going to stay at a nice place. Yeah. So I stayed at a nice place where they locked me out before I got in, and so I had to bang on the door.
Oh, no.
But it was fine. It was lovely.
I think it's worth spending the money on the hotels.
It turns out it's nice to have nice things.
Yeah. I think it's, it depends. It's so difficult. The economics of touring is very difficult. Yeah. But I think, especially if you do a long tour.
Do you ever foist yourself on people?
What?
I've been staying...
Yeah, if they're up for it. Would you try and stay with the audience? Is anyone... I'm going to stay tonight. If anyone's got a sofa...
I actually talk quite a lot about threesomes in my show.
I know you do.
Oh, you do? How do you know this?
Well, I've read reviews and I've read about it.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, I'm happy to listen. And imagine.
I'll keep my voice recorder right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I talk quite a lot about threesomes, which is not something I really want to manifest for the tour, but is if you talk about it on stage, someone will DM you about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I did a whole show talking about threesomes, and I never got a threesome. This was before. I nearly did on the last night, and then I got into a fight, and then it was a good story for the next tour. I'm very jealous of you youngsters and the pansexual world you live in.
Oh, but we all live in the pansexual. You can live in the pansexual world.
I can't. My wife won't let me. Also, I'm just tired as well. I just want to. Like having one person to please is enough, right? I mean, I suppose the good thing about having two people is they can just do each other while I go to sleep. That would be how I would use it.
It's sort of like TaskRabbit.
It's a very positive thing, I think.
You sound so dubious. It's untrue.
I'm an old person, so I'm like all old people, I'm jealous that the world has changed. But as older people than me would be jealous of the sexual adventures I had. I think.
Yeah. When you say sexual adventures, you make it sound like Winnie the Pooh.
It is, but there's been a sea change, hasn't there?
Yeah, a lot more people are sort of. I'm punching the microphone, which is not a good mime.
They're doing that.
A lot of people are talking about sex and doing sex with more people.
Yeah.
And dressing up and all that sort of thing.
Does it make you happy though, Sophie?
No, I absolutely hate how much I fuck.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. No, it's a weird thing. I think it's like one of my friends, Olga Koch, a great comedian. I don't know if you've had her. Yeah, and her name also happens to be Olga Koch, which is just chef's kiss. Said that if you talk about fucking, you have to sort of pretend you're not having a good time because otherwise it's not relatable.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, as a comedian, that's true. I mean, like if you were like a porn star, you're allowed to say it's good. I think you have to say it's good.
You have to say it's good.
You have to say it's good, and it probably isn't if you're a porn star. But yeah, you have to. You can't come on and go, I'm having great sex with lots of people.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming to see me. Bye. You have to tell the stories of terrible disaster. Really.
Yeah, but sex is sort of like having a lot of sex isn't default good.
No.
Having a lot of sex could be having a lot of those breakfasts that were £15. Like sex is sort of.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, it's not quite a lot of times I've had sex and then had those £15 breakfasts. That's a much worse experience.
Okay. Do you food? Okay. I don't know why I'm asking you this.
Yeah, ask me anything.
And I feel like I'm asking you this because I forgot that there was an audience. Do you know what sploshing is?
Oh, I don't.
But people in the audience do because they murmured.
There's a few murmurs, not from the front row. They're all looking confused.
Okay, so sploshing is like food sexy time. So you might like sit on the cake's face and like smush your bits about or like rub baked beans over you and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you had to eat any breakfast food off someone.
Not baked beans.
Not baked beans.
No, definitely not baked beans. They'd have to be warmed up anyway. I'm not sure that would be so nice for other people. I mean, porridge. There's some porridge. There's some porridge going on to them.
Whoa! Porridge?
Yeah.
Warm porridge? Hot porridge?
A nice bit of hot with a bit of honey. Not hot, warm. Nice on the... It'd be good for the skin, that. You could rub that in. Be popular in Scotland.
It like exfoliate.
Yes, it would be.
And you could call it Goldilocks and the Three Bears and no one would bat an eyelid.
It's a good emergency question, though. I'm going to ask about sploshing from now on.
Yeah.
It's a new world, isn't it? It's crazy. Do you think about that? Never heard anything like it. Let's